Update 23.6 is live on PC, and players can now start and engage in the Pyrus project. This is the mini relay event that they have been teasing for a year and a bit, and you will have up until September 13th at 12:30 PM Eastern Time in order to complete the 4 reconstruction tasks at hand. First off, when logging into the game, you will receive a new blueprint called the Relay Strut component. This is a blueprint for one of the resources you need in order to complete a task, that being the Relay Strut component. However, in order to build those, you will need Pyrus Essence, which can be farmed from normal enemies on Earth, Mercury, Saturn, or Ceres. The second task at hand is to defeat the Grustark 3 times. Now, during this period of the Pyrus project being available on PC, the Grustark 3 will have a high chance of spawning in any regular mission on Earth, Mercury, Ceres, and Saturn, as long as the enemies are higher than level 3, and they won't drop their normal resources, so if you think you're going to get the bruck that way, you won't. The third task is to complete a Samaras daily synthesis mission, and you can do this by going to Cephalon Samaras on any of the relays, talking to him and selecting the Do You Have Any Targets dialogue option, and accepting it. Now, depending on the enemy that appears on your screen, you may have to Google it to find out what planet they load onto if you're not familiar with them. So do that, and make sure you have a synthesis scanner available in your gear wheel in order to scan the 4 different points that you need to in order to capture them. Complete that the required amount of times, head back to Samaras on the relay once you've done it, hand in the challenge, get the endo and the standing, and that will complete that task. The fourth and final task is the Pyrus Essence. You will need to have 30 in order to contribute it to the kiosk on the Strata Relay Reconstruction site. Now, for the Pyrus Essence, you will need to find Essence carriers on any of the Earth, Mercury, Saturn, and Ceres missions, and it will give you an icon when they appear on the map, so make sure to look at that and then head to it. Once the target gets downed, you will have 30 seconds to capture it and earn the resource before he disappears, and you'll have to try again by starting the mission again. Now, once you complete those 4 tasks, you'll have one more task at hand, and that is defeating Sargas Ruk. Upon doing so, you will get the following items: a Pistol Riven mod, the Ember Reprise Noggle, a Zylok with a slot and catalyst already available, and the Athari Lisette skin. And before I forget, they also added the NPCs from Cetus as well as Fortuna to the relays around the star chart, so that's also pretty fucking cool. And that is literally the event. It is really nothing special besides rebuilding one of the relays. Now, moving on to the rest of the changes and fixes and whatnot in this update. The first of which is to Revenant. So they have increased his enthrall cap from 4 enemies to 7. The Dance Macabre energy cost has been increased from 12.5 to 20 energy per second. Reeve now looks more like a Vonvolus charge, definitely better than the really shitty PNG version they had before. Don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that. They added effects and sounds when Mesmer Skin ends, as well as fixing issues with Dance Macabre and Thrall, as well as Mesmer Skin. Also, if you end up building Revenant in your foundry, the final stage of the Mask of the Lost One quest will be available to you to complete. Finally, they fixed a case of obtaining Revenant's blueprint without obtaining the final fragment. As for the changes outside of the Warframe, the Phantasma Altfire will now seek targets in all directions instead of those behind the projectile. They tweaked the Death Machine rifle sounds to handle high fire rates better, and they made micro-optimizations to runtime, object creation, level loading, and NPC pathfinding. As for the fixes, there's 2 of note, and that is fixing the issue where Pause in Solo wasn't working, as well as the Splinter Storm not renewing if Mass Vitrify ends just as it touches it. Hopefully I got you updated on what the event is. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.